What still creeps the frick out of you? The thought of someone looking in my window, just standing there, face uncovered, looking in as though they were casually watching a show. When I was 4 we moved to a new house, and I kept telling my parents about the man that would come at night and watch me. They would ask me questions, but I guess my answers were vague, so they just attributed it to my imagination. After a month or two they started to get worried, and one night my dad stayed awake outside my door and heard someone walk up to the window. He ran him down and called the cops. Turns out he was the son of the elderly neighbors down the street. He was mentally handicapped and would sneak out and walk around the neighborhood when he got bored. It's weird because my parents said I was never scared of him, or at least I never spoke about him in a way that seemed like I felt threatened. Locked in syndrome. Stuff is 100% nightmare fuel. Basically your brain is pretty much intact, but your brainstem is effed, meaning everything but your eyes are paralyzed, and you're fully aware. This is my worst fear. There have been cases where doctors assumed the patient was in a coma and completely unaware of their surroundings. Then 15 years later they use new technology to monitor brain waves. That's when they realize the patient had been 100% aware the entire time. They were just trapped inside themselves, unable to communicate. Home invasions. My grandpa was beaten to death during a home invasion/robbery. I lived with people who refused to lock their doors when they left their home because they believed karma protected their home, when they damn well knew what happened to my grandpa. Had a guy come through my bathroom window when I was showering. I'm a fully grown man. I thought it was one of my brothers or friends effing with me because we were going fishing shortly. I thought one of them showed up early, so I open up a shower curtain to see some drugged out dude grunting and making like zombie type noises flop onto my floor, but a naked ran out, held the door shut, and had my girlfriend called the cops. Dude was in the shower when the cops arrived, so now it's hard for me to have the windows open. People suck. Hanging my feet or arms over the bed when I sleep, and the dark. My 5-year-old recently told me I'm not scared of the thing that lives under my bed. I know the thing that lives under my bed. It's okay. Our border collie sleeps under his bed. There's a guy I work with who creeps me the F out. He's overly nice, creepily nice, constantly pouring compliments on you. He gets too close. He likes to sneak up on you and give you a shoulder rub while whispering compliments in your ear. He also has this obviously fake laugh. It's hard to describe, but I call it his back quote. I think I'm supposed to laugh now laugh. So he'll laugh at inappropriate times because he thinks that's what the situation calls for. He also lies a lot. I've caught him out a few times. It's really hard to explain. It's like watching a lizard in a human suit figure out what to do or say, and he often gets it wrong because he's misread the situation. I've made it clear to him and our boss that if he comes near me or my family I will smash his head through the nearest wall. As a result he now stays away from me because I see right through him. I'm convinced he is some sort of psychopath or sociopath. I'm not smart enough to know which, but I do know I've seen enough to not want him near me because he creeps me out so much. I worked with a guy who was homeschooled. No offense to homeschooled people, but because his parents had kept him basically isolated from regular people when he was growing up, everything he did seemed like it was from a book or movie he'd seen. He had a constant weird smile and had no reservations about talking about how handsome he was. This, we found out, was from his family's constant praise. On the other hand, he was genuinely nice. I felt bad that he had been denied a regular childhood. I was homeschooled. No, I can definitely understand how it can be really bad for kids. If I ever did it, I would do it completely different from my parents. Sisters and I didn't have friends growing up other than family and each other. We are all very close and are genuinely great friends, but I didn't make any actual friends till I was 16. Note to anyone considering homeschooling: keep up with it and keep records. Actually follow your country or state rules on homeschooling. Try online homeschool. Make active efforts to take your kids out and make friends. Last ones are personal ones. Let them be kids. Give them space. Understand you don't always know what they are going through. Be patient with them. Don't homeschool unless you are willing to pour a lot of work into it. Don't do it if you're just trying to save money or don't like dealing with other people. Your children deserve better than that. The whole concept of the movie The Strangers and the movie itself The thought of being basically hunted and killed, and the only reason being you were home. Worst nightmare. Dying, not existing, seeing, feeling, smelling, knowing, nothing, just non-existent, never to exist again. I spent a long part of my life being suicidal. Basically the entirety of my 20s. Ended up putting a lot of effort into my mental health, and have been well for a few years now. An unexpected side effect is that I truly fear death for the first time in my adult life. It's a strange thing to adjust to. I find it creepy how we subconsciously are our own worst enemies. Someone's looking at me. Well, they must be thinking the worst about me. I made a mistake. Well, let me think about it repeatedly for the rest of my life to relive my shame. I'm sleep deprived. Well, now I'm seeing stuff move in my peripherals, or I'm hearing something as my house haunted, etc. Just the amount of damage we can do to ourselves just by not maintaining ourselves. It's amazing how easy it is for the body to just start shutting down / causing issues. Closing my eyes in public. If I'm in a park on a sunny day, closing my eyes and suddenly hearing the sounds around me is terrifying. At home I'm okay, but outdoors, every sound I can see is anxiety. That we don't know if going under narcosis actually puts us to sleep, or if we can still feel everything but just don't remember it, because it prevents the creation of memories. Just imagining that you feel everything while being operated on gives me the shivers. Surgeon here. You can definitely tell when a patient is too light because they start responding to the most painful parts of the surgery. Getting them to a more appropriate plane stops even the unconscious pain responses. Also, you're not asleep. Your brain is just being poisoned to the point insensitivity. Midazolam, on the other hand, causes sedation but not anesthesia, and inhibits the formation of long-term memories from short-term memories. If given at a sufficient dose, it causes both anterograde amnesia, but also retrograde amnesia for any memories you still have in short-term memory. So 15 minutes worth of Evans prior the dose. When I was in college I was drugged with some pretty gnarly stuff. Was just smoking weed that was knowingly laced with some strong amphetamine. Those guys are arrested. Now I barely smoked weed. Better yet, hard stuff. And my body didn't know what to do. I called the cops on myself and ended up slipping into a coma for 3 days. Here's the effed up part. I vividly remember being in a hell-like situation. Myself falling through a black hole with thousands of hands grabbing at me and trying to pull me down. Absolute sheer terror. Ever since then, years later, I still have those same nightmares and have a hard time falling asleep. Crevasse ice. Now bored, and I'm getting to the point where I'm going to take avalanche training. Does not prepare you for that. You can fall into an icy pit 50 feet below just by minding your business, not seeing it going down. There's 3 ways this can go. You're lucky enough to not break anything falling down and hit an area where it's kind of flat. Maybe you can climb out. If you have gear, you fall 50 feet hitting every part of your body on ice / ion impact. You survive somehow to the bottom, but you're effed because no one can hear you. They can't see the crevasse, and you can't make much noise because again you're literally effing up your body / you're in agony. Yeah, I'm terrified of that. Drowning doesn't sound so bad. Mannequins, statues, human-like robots, etc. I'm okay when shopping for clothes because the mannequins are usually blank, human-shaped frames. However, when it comes to the wax figures you might see in museums, my anxiety gets turned up to 100, especially if they are animatronic. I'll straight up refuse to enter the same room as the thing if it moves.